Aloha everyone, this is Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly coming to you with a Starseeds and Lightworkers check-in. Okay, so we're going to look at what's coming in for the next 30 days. We're going to get the energy for the Starseeds and Lightworkers, what our next embodiment is. So this will be partially channeled messages and as well as through the cards as well. Okay, so before we get started, I want to say thank you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for hitting that bell button. All those things help my channel to grow and expand. Thank you again for those who have donated and for those who have commented. All of those things help my channel to grow. So very, very grateful. I am doing a contest every month, free to enter, free to win, for a 30-minute session with me personally. I'll let you know at the end of the video how to enter that, as some are here for the messages and not for the contest. And then information on personal readings with me, either video recorded, you can purchase that on Etsy, or if you would like to talk to me personally, we'll have to schedule that as well. So information to do that is in the description box below. Okay, so first off, as this is a timeless reading, so when you see it, you see it. That being said, as it's being recorded, we have just this past weekend gone through the Scorpio full moon eclipse. So there has been a lot of energies that have been purging, a lot of emotions up. Looking at your own personal chart where Scorpio is will let you know where that purging and those emotions are in your system. And we are in Mercury retrograde until June 2nd. So this is a time of reflection. It is a time to collect blessings, to release patterns for the future. This past eclipse for Starseeds and Lightworkers, the guidance that I've been getting is that you're releasing old childhood wounds and patterns for good and entering into the new blueprint of yourself. So you can still have your wants and desires and wishes. Those things come from your higher self and source. But the blockages to having them are what is releasing at this time. Now, the effects of this Scorpio eclipse last for the next 7 months. Ooh, and I just burned the tip of my finger here, so we need to be careful to space things out and pay attention as we're igniting, okay? There is an ignition of both spiritual gifts, but also for the first wave of Lightworkers, what Spirit's been showing me and what I've been feeling in my personal life has been that the first wave has gone through their spiritual awakening, dark nights of the soul, many of which have been at this since 2002, but most specifically 2012 opened another portal for this group. So this first wave, you guys have gone through the transitions, okay? And many of us have been more out of body than in body for these years, because we've been learning and downloading the codes of light and holding on the grid the light, the fifth dimensional awareness. Now, fifth dimensional is not a place per se, right? It is a dimension inside of self, of consciousness. So fifth dimension means that you've entered into awareness. This is when, in your viewing of your own self and your recognition that you are more than just your body, your recognition that you are a creator, now you're getting to see that awareness in fifth dimension and beyond. Sixth dimension, we move into creation that's reflected on in the third dimension. So essentially, what's happening for that first wave of Starseeds and Lightworkers. So there's going to be different ones attracted to this reading. So you know who you are if you've been going through these changes and shifts and been awake since around between 2002 and 2012. Okay. Now, having that time frame to go through the shifts and changes, we're leading the pack. And so what's really happening is we're shifting back into our bodies, and it's like there's a Buddhist saying that says, before enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water, right? So now that this first wave has gone through the process of holding that dimensional vibrational light, purging and clearing, now after the Scorpio full moon eclipse, there's been a wave of people who have made it to that consciousness level throughout humanity, so that the first wave of starseeds and light workers can now do their work in a different way. And you're holding the space within yourself, your body. So this is coming back in and receiving those blessings for work well done, projects that seemed like they never took off, but they were part of your mission. Now, what Spirit has been saying, now the people are ready for your light codes. Okay, we all have different skills and abilities, so there's never a reason to compare yourself to another, because what one person does in a healing modality, say that you are in the position of healer or priest, right, or shaman. What one person does and can clear in the other, another is going to do something different, and both things are effective because you're using your own light codes. So this is the thing Spirit's been saying, is to release comparisons. We are all part of the spiritual consciousness ocean, okay, but we are all very individual drops, and our individual places on the wheel and the flower of life here, okay, is we all have our positions and vibrations that are important for the whole to be complete, okay? And so if you're trying to do someone else's position, you can't do that. So the only person that you can be is you. And so Spirit's really, for this first wave of light workers, is really indicating that we're coming into our body and our self-sovereignty, okay? We're moving into the position of leadership. Some of you may be opening businesses. You may be actual leaders of a tribe or a group of people. And now it's remembering that when you're at this leadership position, you confer with the servers, right? And so we first start to wake up and we learn to be of service. And then as we move through the different spiritual gifts and modalities, then we get to be the chief in our own right, whatever it is that you're leading. This could be self-sovereignty, but you may be leading a group of people as well. So you want to confer with your servers and remember your roots, okay? But it is time now for that first wave to enter into receiving the material plane goodness. So you've held the light in the 5D, your vibration is there, but now you're getting to see the creations in the manifest world. Second wave is waking up to holding, learning how to hold the vibration. And so many of them are moving into, so if you happen to be like a second wave, like you feel like you have just woken up, or you're just understanding starseeds, light workers, feeling like you're from a different place other than Earth in your origins, okay, you are moving into the space of learning the other parts of the spiritual gifts. So we have servers, we have scholars, we have artists, we have the priests, priestesses, healers, right? So we have the warriors. So many of you are waking up to what your first mission is, right? So many of you may be drawn to, I feel a lot of empathic type of starseeds here. So many of you may be attracted to the healing arts at this time. Okay, so let's look at what Spirit wants to talk about for the next 30 days. So this is what's kind of waking up for the next, our next shift in life. And then you guys are moving into your first missions, we'll call it that way. Okay, perfect. All right, so for the next 30 days, we have lost lands, It says soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. So many of you are waking up to the memory of who and what you are, both physically but also galactically. And so they are reminding you that you have done this before. Your soul does remember how to use your gifts and your talents. And I will say that what is natural to you is your gift and talent, what comes naturally. Not that we can't learn other skills and abilities, absolutely. That is important for the learning of starseeds and light workers, but you will come in with innate gifts. So some of you may have an affinity for art. Some of you may have an affinity for caring for other people, or like with me, I had a lot of death in my beginning experience. So now it's very easy for me to connect to those who have passed over. So there's different things that we will naturally through our life go through. That's going to be our innate gifts. And so any of your creative wants and projects, what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel joyful, those are your natural memories and gifts. And so some of you might be singers, some of you might be artists and painters, some of you may be very skilled warriors, some of you may be very skilled healers, and we need all of those. Some of you may be excellent at service and are able to organize in such a way that systems and programs are put together with ease. So each of you have a different gift, and you're going to be remembering these in the next 30 days and actually uplifting to a new level of your mastery of that. Okay, we have perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out and common ground. Okay, so they want you to take a much, in the next 30 days, our teams here want the Starseeds and Lightworkers to take a more galactic approach and zoom out on our pictures, okay? Instead of looking at the problems, because the solution's in a different time-space continuum than the problem is, okay? So instead of looking at the problem, zoom out, realize how small we really are as individual cells. Spend some time in meditation, spend some time in space in your meditations, because that's going to be really useful. Remembering that in this 3D matrix, it is a movie, as it were, and none of it really matters. So whatever you're going through, even matter itself is not solid. There's vibration in between the molecules, and so it's held together through vibration and through focus and attention. And so if you can remember that, like, okay, this, I can shift and change my perspective, and that will change the experience that I'm having. And then it says loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction. It says let God in. And God is your own God source, your own self as a creator. And so essentially this next 30 days, you're going to be releasing density. So there may be awareness that's coming to the Starseeds and Lightworkers of how you've used coping mechanisms. Many of you are highly sensitive individuals because you come in with an enlightened state of ability. And so many of the coping mechanisms or ways to escape your power. And so often Starseeds and Lightworkers will at some point in their life deal with addiction or escapism in some way because they're trying to cope to Earth, right? So if that's you, you're not alone. We've all gone through different situations in order to learn how to be here now. And in the next 30 days, you're going to be evaluating and seeing which ways that you have been dealing with your reality in an addictive or coping way, and letting go of the density. So there's no reason those of you watching this are master manifestors. So there's no reason to really focus on the reality of it, because we all know that you're creating it at every given moment. And so, but what they're saying is that you're releasing the hold on the density of the 3D reality. You're allowing yourself to move into these higher levels of consciousness and release those coping mechanisms, and instead choosing a different way to soothe yourself, choosing a different way to be in the flow, as it were. I'm going to get a mana card here for the group. This is the Power of Hawaiian Wisdom. These cards are really lovely. So if you were looking for some new cards to get and you want to connect with the Hawaiian Wisdom, these are really nice. Okay, for the Starseeds and Lightworkers for the next 30 days, please and thank you. And what Spirit's saying is that we've all done a really good job. So they're wanting to let you know that as challenging as it may have been to go through these different changes and transformations, that you are fully protected. And I know it feels kind of purgy, but they are allowing you to move into your higher levels of consciousness at this time. Okay, so we got Maui and Hina, which Hina is actually Maui's mother. All right, so very good. Let's look at what those symbolize. All right, so for Maui, it's the trickster. So Maui's the trickster god, right? And so it says, Maui works through a keen sense of humor and adventure. Try the opposite of what is usual. Things are not always as they appear. So in these next 30 days, the trickster in Native American culture, they call that the heoka. Okay, so Maui would be the same as that if you've heard of the heoka before. So do things the opposite of usual. If you have a tendency to worry about the 3D manifest reality, say, you know what, I'm just going to daydream this month. If you don't do enough action, maybe do action towards your goals this time. If you do too much action and you're coming up against problems, lean back and rest. Do things kind of the opposite, because things are not as they appear at this time. And then we have Hina, the moon goddess here. And this is nurturing is the essence. Okay. And so it says new ideas, relationships, tender feelings, and people need to be nurtured. Retreat into the void of uncertainty and bathe in the grayness of formlessness. Allow for the germination. Okay. And this card came right on top of this perspective here. All right, so go into the void and really feel into what within yourself needs to be nurtured and how you can nurture others around you, because remember, we're all releasing density at this time. So that's really beautiful. And the loosen the grip here was Hulu, which is the feather, and it's illusions. Okay. It says, soar with feather to rise above limitations and myopic views. Realize that the line between your vision and its manifestation is a permeable one. Okay, so loosen your grip. This is also speaking that you have manifestations that are coming in at this time. I just dropped one of these, excuse me. You have manifestations that are coming in at this time. And how to get them is to loosen your grip and to go into the space of formlessness, go into the void, because that's going to be really, really useful for you to move past the illusion with those coping mechanisms, to move past the illusion that, that your manifestation is never coming, or that you're not going to be able to have what you want. It feels like there's been some persistent or denser thinking patterns that have been happening at this time, and so it's so they're looking at it in such a way that it's time for you to release the hold that the denser thoughts and feelings have had on you. And I feel like there's been some distractions in your world, and they're basically saying, come back in to self, okay, and then flower the vision out to a higher perspective. Okay, what else do they want right now? They're just saying that you're doing a really, really good job, that you are right on track. And though the emotions may have been a little bit overwhelming for you at different times, they are wanting you to know that you are absolutely on track. And I'm going to get one more Native Spirit Oracle card here, and then we'll close out the reading. But this feels really good, you guys. It feels like the next 30 days you're just releasing the density and taking a different perspective. This also reminds me of the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man hangs themselves upside down to take a new perspective in order to see things clearly. So I do feel like clarity is coming for the Starseeds and Lightworkers. You're coming into your gifts in a new and different way. And then we have Spirit Keeper of the East, and it says, new beginnings, a fresh cycle is occurring in your life. Wipe the slate clean. It's now time to release the old and start again. No matter what has happened in the past, it doesn't need to repeat in the future. And that's what I was saying, especially for those of you who are first wave Starseeds and Lightworkers. The pattern has changed. So you no longer need to go through these dark nights of the soul. You no longer need to be holding on to the past in such a way that it's difficult for you, right? So now is the time for the new beginning. So how you're doing things is different. We just had this beautiful breeze come in, so we got the blessing of the wind. That is the goddess Pele, so she's volcano, wind, and lightning, as well as dance. And so this is you coming into a brand new beginning, you guys. It's beautiful. I'm so grateful. It just let the density fall away. Let it be new for you. You have blessings coming, and you're really coming into your spiritual gifts. You've done it before. You can't mess it up. So try things in opposite way than you've been used to doing them for this month. And then just notice the results. Then pierce through the illusion. And you guys are doing a fantastic job. So hang in there. Brand new beginnings coming for you. So I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Those of you who would like to enter the contest, remember it's free to enter, free to win. Here's how you do it. Be a subscriber if you're not already, so subscribe and hit that bell button. Like and share this video, and then in the comment section below, write new beginning, and that lets me know that you'd like to enter the drawing. I will do that on video on June 1st and announce the winner, and hopefully it is you. So thank you so much, and until next time, aloha.